Hey everybody, the great Quinn CX79 here, and welcome back to Let's Play Etrian Odyssey. Last time we tackled more of the Azure Rainforest and found, well, the humanoid that the people of the Wandot Hall had found, and turns out it has discovered us. Turns out it was a girl. And gave us a vague as hell warning to not tread past any foot of their sacred ground. So, yeah, there's that. Anyways, in this episode, we're going to be tackling a few of our quests that we have. Oh, you require a bug nest too, that's fun. So I technically need 6. Because I really need 2 more for select a shop. But yeah, like I said, we're gonna be basically tackling most of the quests that we have today, and hopefully not have any further issues with having to go through this as a whole. That was the preemptive, but we all managed to fail to escape. Just want to point it out there. Got a sword for scale. What a lie! What a lie! What's that? You want to go forward? Nope, you're actually you're tricked to being put up here. You're tricked to going over there. I still really think this should have been a shortcut here, honestly. Just make it easy to traverse and get the items here. Honestly, it could have been easier. Strawberry. Bug nests. You should take everything you can shop at the 13th floor, cool. I'm just gonna grab more, just on the off chance. Let's board this in. Get a Hamau Prime. Ah, I see you got the free bug nest, just as requested. The Jackson chef would definitely be pleased to see these. I don't know though, is a meal made from these going to taste good at all? What do you think? If he asked you, would you try it? Given this together and give it answering, probably not. I agree. Maybe it'll turn out alright, but I'd still hesitate to try it. Welcome back, kids. What'd you find? A bug nest, strawberry, and a sea branch? But you can find other useful things in the forest, even if no one's requesting them. Well, make sure Kong gets these. Thanks for your hard work. Now accept the rest of these. Oh, Darcy, I knew that was the thing we could eventually get. And Reader 2 and Excella 2. Recovers 50 TP. A lot better than the regular readers that we have. I'll suggest taking some of these. Which means I am going to have to sell the old readers that we have. But you know, it's fine. Alright, now that we're here, I believe the spot we just were, I don't know why I have to go for that route. Over here, okay, that E right by the door. I believe that might be the necessary thing we have to investigate. Could be wrong, but we'll see. As the publican told you, the ants walking around have become vicious. One ant seems to be going back and forth on the path. Could it be guarding the area? So good. Although now I think about it, are any of these new? No, it's enemies we've seen before. Just for some reason they're red. Once you get past the patrolling ants and walk further in, you see a large egg in the bush. It's an ant egg. It seems that the Answer's trade favors was over the breeding season. I know you found a reason. You should flee before the Ants discover you. Huh. So the ants were just protecting their egg. And if that's the case, no wonder they give more fishes. I warn the other explorers not to kill new ants during this time of the year. Probably for the best. The flute, 1 TP, but 1 less defense. But, eh. What's the harm in 1 less defense? Probably more damage, but, it's 1 point of damage. I'm sure it's fine. Oh, now you have a new staff. That's okay. Just conveniently. We managed to unlock this, which... Cool, fine. I guess that's something. Alright, I'd say we're more than prepared to finally travel to the Diptings for one. Here's hoping we could probably get some answers out of that mysterious girl that we saw on the 14th floor. A door is right in front of us. Should be plain as obvious. As you navigate the blue forest, you sense a strong government threat from beyond the door. If you wish to experience thus far, the presence is stronger than anything you faced. Are you ready for anything? Have you prepared yourself to confront any creature? If you have confidence in your skills, then open the door and meet your fate. Boy, you're not honest. As you continue through the bus, you come across a vast expanse of water. Even though this is not a vast expanse of water, most of the vast expanse of water is to the left and right of us, but you know. It's as if an ocean was suddenly transported into the middle of the forest. Within the blue tinted oasis, you see a distant shadow. You slowly approach it. It is a human girl you encountered before. She raises a shrill cry, seeing you. Trespassers from the sealed lands. By what right do thou desecrate our sacred ground? Thy presence here violates the ancient pact between our peoples. I have warned thee, but thou paid me no heed. Face then the guardian of our holy land. As this the inhale gives a sharp, high-pitched whistle. The sound resonates through the forest, and a huge creature appears in response. Heal me, Corotrangul. Smite these vile intruders. Such is the girl's cry before advancing into the forest, but you have no time for pursuit. The monsters are fighting through the air as easily as Swimming is about to attack. Corotrangul! It's a manta ray. It almost looks like he's doing it with Argo's face. Oh! But yeah, this is our boss for the Stratum. This is our boss. Gonna put up a bravery. This life we're building up plane for quite a bit. Because we've had slight hints that he uses ice. Oh, and he's sitting here. Oh goodness, oh, that's a start. Oh yeah, that doesn't recover sleep either. Again, not at that level. Salve up. What a tackle. Anyways, yeah, fire damage. Pretty good. Pretty good. It's gonna mostly be defending against any ice attacks and just trying to use flame to kill it. No. Okay. Got rid of him and ice, didn't it? Nope. Oh, that actually loaded our attack. Okay. Might as well get back as quickly as possible. Yep. Your turn. Oh god. Well, you think it's gonna be out of action for a little bit. Is what I would say if I didn't have him bound. On binds. Oh yes, nice! We got it done, cool. That time it was before it could attack, so that was mostly to our benefit, for sure. Except that wasn't... I don't have one bind to... or mine two binds at once, that's fine. Resistance to fire has been okay. Probably a good thing I remember that... Oh yeah, I need evasion. Because, it'll put that up. Just so it has... just so it takes us down for being hit by fire. Unfortunately for it, we have better things in mind. Gonna assist turn again just so Irene gets the heal. Here too. It is not really using that nice attack of his. It is a bit much more often. Boosted multi-shot, multi-hit actually. Don't know what. I keep confusing that for shot even though it's not really a shot. Self. Showcase. And never mind, Hisaku is dead. Be time to put up an extra 2. Sucks because that gets rid of Hisaku's boost as well, so that stinks. Boost the defender. And just for safety, it boosted itself. Yeah, see, if it puts up the resistance, it's gonna be very, very, very weak in terms of damage output, so... Hence, you want to bring a Troubadour if you want to be able to use fire on Corotrangul. Oh, now he uses it. Since I thought I wasn't going to use Ice Wall and Ice Attack ever again, whoops, here it is. Boosted Bravery, Flame, Self, Ow, and it should be dead pretty soon. There we go. Sea King Ice. Is it seeking the ice, or is it the Sea King of Ice? Or is it the King of Ice that is seeking ice? I don't know. The dread monster begins to slowly fall before your eyes. The shadow behind the collapsing horror has apparently already escaped. But where it lurks, you find a stone tablet engraved with a mysterious language. If it came from the unknown shadow, it might be a useful clue. What a hall might know more. So yeah, that was Corotrangul. Again, I really seem to be more prepared for these, just simply because of the team competition that I have, and just be more cautious as heck, I guess. Anyways, we could go back to Water Hall, but there is stairs here, and who knows, that might be able to lead us to a geomagnetic field, which more likely is because we've reached the end of our first floor. Surprisingly, you might think this is very minimal for this team's floor. There's a good reason for that. That reason will not be explored by now, though. Suddenly, we're in a vast desert. A sandy barren, one might say. The pathless, drifting sand. So yeah, now we reached the next Stratum, and we can easily come back here anytime. Upon selling this, the Orc Drawer is gonna require a lot more than I thought. Wow, okay. The Ocean King's Longbow, whose Arcing arrows deeply pierce foes. I cannot believe I actually got the conditional item of Corotrangul. What? Okay, I was not expecting to actually get a boss conditional drop, at least in the main playthrough, but holy crap. That's something. This is like the actual supposed to even have any conditional drops too. Now just a 10% drop rate on another item. Just okay. So apparently the ice biome was just renamed to Sea King Ice in the remake. So that's good to know. That is good and honest to know. Because in the original, this is originally in the ice spine. As you can clearly see, ice attacks are not going to be very effective against it. So you know, hence ice. I cannot believe I actually got that. That might be helpful for like a thing later down the line, or maybe for this next Stratum if I even bother getting that wee relic, which I don't know. Chances are I might not. But let's just go ahead and report this in now. So, you did encounter this unknown life form, and it drops this stone tablet. If I'm not mistaken, this engraving is some language beyond our ken. I shall assign the water's best researchers to it. With enough study, we may gain insight into the skill's precise nature. We'll keep the tablet safe at Water Hall. You should continue with your investigations. Ah, and how can I forget? We have a reward for your hard work, of course. 8,000 intel! And with that, we have new dialogue for which you get another stratum. Everyone tells me you met a mysterious beastie down in the third stratum. That true? And not just that, but the path behind it leading even deeper into the labyrinth. Well, it sounds exciting, but be careful. You don't know what's down there after all. Very much so. Ah, you're back! I mean, welcome to my shop. I hear you've stepped into parts of the forest that no soul has reached before. That next to the labyrinth. I wonder how deep it goes. Oh, trust me, it goes deep. Ah, it's you. I hear you found that the labyrinth goes even deeper than the third stratum. I look forward to hearing about what mysteries and creatures lurk within that unknown place. So probably actually do something about this. We can technically do this as soon as we get this. I just wanted to hold it off. Because really it's about one of the easiest things you can do, and it's just a simple time waster. Every now and then the explorers go to science trial like this to see who bites. It'll be rough, but it's also a good chance to test your skills. The challenge will begin at daybreak. Best of luck, kids. You walk through the forest. For the next 5 days, remain on leave the bottom-based floor of the labyrinth. Walk it on the scrap of paper you bought. 5 days remaining. 5. Woo. Here we go. Game is currently trying to present my mood of finding out that it doesn't really walk down to this day. Annoying. And here's post-commentary Pikmin to help commentate throughout, well, most of the remaining time we're going to be spending in the Builder Jungle because, yeah, as I unfortunately later find out, either it might be due to a bug or that's or something, or just the fact that this was also in the original and it never happened there, but, there's no message indicating that you've passed this day in the labyrinth after going in for the first time and marking off that it's day 4 now, but yeah, unfortunately that's a thing. I don't know what's wrong about that, but essentially I'm just sort of here to fill out the void of the lack of commentary that was just there with the original. If you can tell, this is mostly just going to be off the script. And here we've gone to a complete standstill, as I have no idea what past me was doing at the time. Probably just like gathering food or something to help pass the time. Probably not. But while we're here, we might as well just go over like a few things that basically, in the long and short of things, this could have been done sooner. There's a real good reason why I'm panning this out as much as I am, mostly for this episode onwards, because I just didn't want this episode to just be, oh, we're fighting Corotrangul, and that's it. We see a short preview of the next episode and nothing else. But there's also a factor of just having played a remake of the first Etrian Odyssey game, because, you know, there was no way I was going to be able to find the original port of the DS Etrian Odyssey 1, and that is the fact that, as I said many times before, the Untold remake changes some of the game's maps, mostly for the better and sometimes for the worse. There's a real good example of the fourth Stratum that I will showcase when we get to it, but that is just not going to be for like a few episodes here on. Basically, I'll just be talking about it later and just why I felt a little off-putting by what was put forth in the fourth Stratum when doing this for the Let's Play, and why I just somewhat prefer the Untold maps to the originals. It's just my opinion, really. I know some people really love the original maps, and of course they're free to like what they like. I'm not going to judge them. It is their opinion, and they'll like what they like. But as we're wrapping about the Thursday, yeah, that's kind of about it. Anyways, enough pondering about random things that have never happened. Here's something that didn't happen during the night. As the Azure Guild continues throughout the day, night swiftly falls into the jungle, and soon the guild heads back to the designated rest spot to set up for camp. They figured it'd be easier to rest near the healing spring, simply because the properties of the spring itself seem to cure the members of the Azure Guild of the wounds that they sustained throughout the day and throughout the remainder of the 5-day trip that they're going to be spending in the labyrinth. Once the guild arrived, they quickly spread out to do their work. Even though the guild is aware no monsters come near the healing spring, Irene figured it would not hurt to be precautious and was in charge of placing wall chimes all around the vicinity. Hisako and Ume were able to get the tent set up just fine, although Adamina seemed to have some difficulty setting up the tent as Hisako peeked out of her tent after setting it up perfectly from the inside. To survivalists thinks it might be just the dog-conscious inexperience of surviving outdoors where there's no city or villages in sight, and thus left out the chance to help Adamina out. After everyone thoroughly ate the food, it came time to decide the order for the night watch. It was decided upon that the guild members would take 2-hour watches each, and if the guild members are unable to sleep or having difficulty sleeping, they are free to help out the person in charge of the watch for the 2-hour segment. Hisako gladly volunteered to go first, while Ume only followed along because of Hisako's suggestion. After deciding the order for which the guild members would go take over the night shifts after Hisako and Ume, the other guild members headed to the tents, leaving the survivalists and the Troubadours to take the first watch. During that time, Hisako was mostly focused on prep work for the guild, but the occasional glance he made at the Troubadour dancing around the fire soon convinced the survivalists to maybe take a break every once in a while. So she got up and joined Ume in a bit of a mini dance session. Doing so made the two of them reminisce on the time they spent performing those songs in towns before coming to the town of Etria at Klazina's suggestion. They haven't had much of an opportunity to perform in Etria due to all the craze being pointed towards the labyrinth and not much else, but it was something that the two of them had done so often that it felt like it would turn to norm that the two could revel in doing every once in a while. Ume suggested if Hisako was having this much fun, they should probably hold a performance once they conquered the labyrinth in full, whether it was conquering the deepest depths or just finding everything they could do inside the labyrinth. Hisako agreed to that idea and suggested that they should bring it up with the others later on, though noting they'll probably have to come up with a song for the occasion. The Troubadour quickly reassured her that they'll come up with something in due time and that they'll have plenty of time to practice it along the way. The two of them decided to converse a bit for the remainder of the night watch before the next guild member woke up and takes their shift. But yeah, technically at this point day 1 has passed. We can continue doing the same thing for day 2. Because all the experience points that we're slowly gaining may or may not be leading up to something. Keyword maybe. I suppose I might talk a little bit of how I got into the Etrian Odyssey series while I'm here, especially since, you know, the series is bad niche despite the contrary. I guess it just happened on a whim. It's just sort of try it out. I think it was the demo of Etrian Odyssey 4 at the time, and I really came to like that, so I wanted to at least get a physical copy of the Untold remake and Etrian Odyssey 4, which I still have the... pretty sure I still have the original Untold one at this point. It's just at some point I lost the card for Etrian Odyssey 4. Don't know where that went or what happened to it, but I still have the original card to this day for Etrian Odyssey Untold. And just, you know, eventually through liking the story mode in Untold and just the little fun, imaginative adventures my guild members had in 4, eventually got me to getting Etrian Odyssey 5, the second Untold game for the 3DS as well, and just getting the latest game in the Etrian Odyssey series, all without having to play the third game, which was admittedly one of the games I was missing until the Origins Collection came out, and I was able to play it on my own time. So, yeah, I've kind of played most, if not all, of the Etrian Odyssey games. The only game I have not been into today is Etrian Mystery Dungeon, which is a spin-off of Etrian Odyssey and Mystery Dungeon. Mostly Etrian Odyssey crossed over with Mystery Dungeon, and to this point I haven't beaten it. I might still find the time to do so during this, and I might note that officially when that happens. I am not sure when that's going to be, but it'll happen one of these days. It's a real shame the 3DSD stopped closed, because I was hoping to actually play Persona Q and its sequel, which are basically Persona crossover with Etrian Odyssey. There was like at least one Etrian Odyssey character that at least appeared in the sequel, I believe, but that's probably not going to be discussed because that's somewhat spoilers for a race that appears in the third game, at least a playable class in the third game, and this is not the time for that fun fact quite yet. But yeah, that's basically somewhat of a story of how I got into Etrian Odyssey as a whole. Again, really hoping the next game of the Etrian Odyssey series is on the Switch, or maybe like the next generation of the Switch, because let's be honest, the Switch is about doing its lifetime at this point. Yeah, still hoping for that next game, Atlas. Still hoping for that next game. Please make it happen soon. I don't know how much more I can have with these games. The second day comes and goes just as quickly as the first day. Given the guild's strength at this point, all but the Wyvern looking in its nest pale in comparison to the guild's combined might. Seeing the sunset in the sky, the guild starts to head back to the west spot, when the alchemist Isina spots Irene staring at the ground, almost as if she was unable to move from that spot in particular. The alchemist approaches and asks if the Hex Protector is feeling alright, seeming to stir the girl from her thoughts. Irene insisted she would be fine, although Yesenia couldn't help but reassure Irene that should the two of them get picked to go on the night watch, they could talk about what's on her mind then, which the Protector seems to take for an answer, as the two of them quickly catch back up with the rest of the guild. A few hours later, the alchemist awakes from a slumber, seeing the Hex Protector gazing at something in her hands, though whatever it was hard to tell from a distance and also inside her tent while she was still waking up from her sleep. was also hard to tell if it was actually time for a shift or if Irene was too focused on whatever was in her hand to not tell her. But Yesenia's curiosity about what Irene was holding would weigh down on her mind if she would try to go back to sleep. So, trying to push aside her fatigue, the alchemist got out of her tent and approached Irene. Soon seeing the thing the protector was holding was a piece of paper that seemed to be a little bit of a drawing of sorts, depicting a younger Irene and two other people, seemingly behind them. It almost reminded Yesenia of a family picture that she and Luan would often draw to remind themselves that their parents are still around. Upon hearing Yesenia ask what she has, Irene explains that this drawing, along with the bow and shield she always carried throughout her time in Etria, were mementos from her parents that she kept along with her throughout the whole journey. Sort of a little reminder that they were always with her in spirit as she took on the labyrinths. It wasn't easy to put off such thoughts of seeing her family again, though, given many people they've held at the labyrinths so far sometimes involved gathering mementos of those fallen adventurers. Irene often could not help but let her mind wander off to those potential what-ifs if she failed to keep the guild alive. Yesenia reassures Irene that she's done a great job at helping everyone and that she shouldn't let those weather scenarios get to her head as often as it does. After all, that shield of hers did help protect them from many battles so far, and that she was sure her parents would be proud of how far that shield has gotten use of in the labyrinth. Irene certainly seemed to brighten up a little bit thanks to Yesenia being there to listen to her, giving the alchemist a hug as she let her tears fall onto the black-haired twin's scarf. Soon feeling the alchemist pat her back, and giving her that silent reassurance that everything will be alright, and that the defense she made in Etria will keep her safe. It took quite some time before Irene's tears dried up, but it also seemed as if the protector was quite tired doing all of that, as she herself had drifted to sleep sometime after she finished crying. Figuring now would be a good time to start her watch and fall, Yesenia brought Irene to one of the tents and made sure she was comfortable before heading back out to sit by the campfire and start her watch. Two days have been now spent at the Azure Rainforest. The audio's end is still far away. Make a note on your tally sheet. 3 days remaining. And back with the commentary, and that barely matters in post because I just did not want this to be a sped up version of, hey, this is just going to be a rather quick episode with a rather quick request that's going to be mostly cut down in post simply because it's just me going back and forth and just dropping off items, allocating skill points when necessary, and just being accidentally a little more prepared to take on the challenges ahead. But, yeah, honestly, the team choices I made here were honestly pretty alright, honestly. I have a sort of end goal in mind with this team once the main game is pretty much over. It's probably not going to be a little while because, as we all know, there are regular bosses, there's the optional bosses, and as we all know in games sometimes, there are those super strong super bosses. And for the 3 games in particular, for this whole, let's cover the whole Etrian Odyssey Origins collections, those are going to be a lot more prepped up than every other fight that's going to be done before, and they're essentially going to signify the last episode in general, because at least the last episode in general for the games in particular, because once again the aim is to grab 100% of everything, and probably might grab some things here and there off screen simply because some of the tedium in these games are just simply trying to get the right items to drop, and half the time, unless you're like playing on picnic mode, which might help with the item drops, or allocating skill points to make sure more items drop frequently, or yeah, some getting drops is it's not hard. It's just figuring out things blindly and just trying to remember which conditions off the top of my head is not often the great part of having to do this, which is why I often try to peek out my notes to make sure I'm getting some of the right items. It's sort of why we sort of got that condition from Corotrangul, just Mostly because we failed a condition and just killed it with that condition. But once again, this is probably going to be the most easier of the 3 games that's going to be clearing the compendium with. Again, I'm not looking forward to Etrian Odyssey 2s, and honestly, 3, it might just be a little easier, simply because we're going back to the norm. Well, it's just the conditions for Etrian Odyssey 1, but there's a lot more enemies there, and there's going to be a whole bunch of things that's going to be necessary to acquire every item, and it's just... I'm not sure if I should have episode twice just gather all the materials in question, or if I should just do it off screen. This might be a thing I have to answer. I might have an answer for during the editing of this episode, but we'll just have to see. But anyways, back to your regularly scheduled scripted night events. Yet another night falls in the primitive jungle, and once more the guild retreats to their camping grounds. Some of the guild split off to take care of some monsters, while the others headed into their tents to let Animita and Luan start the night watch. Not long into the night, the medic noticed Animita attempting to mend her own wounds from some prior battle earlier. The white-haired girl quickly sat beside the dog hunter and assured her that she would handle the process of tending to her wounds, despite the go-forward damage being rather minimal, and the fact that they settled right next to a healing spring. In the medic's defense, though, in the labyrinth anything might lead to greater injury if one is incautious, even if the monsters they fought against frequently on the floor were weaker than the guild as a whole. Watching the medic do her work seemed to calm the dog hunter, feeling quite reassured that the medic beside her has done this task quite often during the trips throughout the labyrinth, and that this one was no exception as well. In an attempt to make some small talk, Andamina asked Luan if she regrets having to leave the apothecary to join the guild. The medic seemed to pause and raise an eyebrow at the question, almost as if she was unsure how to answer it at first, but soon continued on with her work as if she wasn't really bothered by the question in the slightest. Luan responded as she kept her eyes on tending to the girl's wounds, stating that she has some regrets if it hadn't been for the news of the labyrinth being open to all of Etria, and her sister's constant insistence on wanting to visit said labyrinth. The two of them wouldn't have gone far without the help of the others as well, and in turn they likely could barely make it through without a healer on their own. The medic also appreciated having spent time outside the apothecary, especially since exploring the labyrinth had been a dream of hers ever since the news about it just got around. She just hadn't had the time to find a guild to join, due to some adventurers forgetting the basics of survival, or bringing in those they were able to carry back to cure their afflictions. Since it was only fair of Adamina to ask Luan's reasoning for being with the guild, the medic sought to seek Adamina's answer to the question she presented earlier. Though a bit nervous to answer at first, Adamina responded that she simply joined the guild just to be able to make new friends in conquering the labyrinth, since she was well too nervous to tackle the labyrinth all on her own, and that it was also a bad idea to do so. A smile grew on Luan's face, reassuring her that she made the right choice that day, and that she considers everyone in the guild to be her friend, with Adamina giving a similar response to in return, seeming to lose all sense of nervousness in that moment. Luan soon finished tending to the dog hunter's wound, and Adamina expresses her thanks to her newfound friend, while the medic simply chuckled and replied that it's just what she had to do for a friend. You wander the forest, growing weary as another day of survival begins. Among the data on your title sheet, 2 days remaining. Second to last day, you'll be hearing from post-commentary Pigman, because, well, we're about to come up on the rather optional fight that I was basically alluding to with this whole latter part of the episode as a whole. Yeah, most people don't really tend to fight the Wyvern at this point, but I simply got the inspiration to do so after watching Komaji's VOD of playing the original Etrian Odyssey and seeing them tackle the Wyvern during the end of their guild 12 mission, so I figured this would be a nice point to tackle this mission as well, simply because it's a fun objective and, well, kind of overpowered to really do much about anything at this point. It might as well be a fun thing I do, but it's just expressing more on the channel, which I've occasionally done with the Let's Play, with some of the Let's Play episodes here and there. Mostly, like with Paper Mario, the Origami King, and just some of the custom thumbnail art pieces of my human persona dressed up as different aesthetics or protagonists here and there. Just, yep, it's just, if you couldn't tell, I'm an artist. Goodness. But thankfully, this is probably one of the only 2 times I really have to go through with this, because bit of spoilers for Etrian Odyssey 2. There's a message similar to this. It's a bit really shorter, so thankfully I don't have to do as much as I did here. But this episode has been mostly postponed in terms of editing, because I'm recording this audio file on October 10th, and this is going to be posted well after that, so yes, a bit of a mind on how much I tend to do with, I mean, not even a reminder, this is just how I typically tend to go all out for one. Sometimes with my videos, just, I don't have to do this sometimes, but it's there. I don't have to really color it in. I could just have some lighter colors and just call it a day there with some shading, but no, here I am. The struggles of being an artist. Sometimes you could go out all the time you want to, but no, sometimes you really don't have to, and I'm refusing to do so. I'm really have to drink a lot of water because I don't have a script for this. Might you drink some water? Yeah, I hope you like what's... God, what am I trying to say? I should know what I'm saying at this point. I hope you've been enjoying the series so far. I know I've had a great time recording some of the funny moments from this Let's Play as a whole, and I hope there's more to come in Etrian where we get around to playing the second and third game on this channel in particular. It's just that I might need a little bit of a break from RPGs ever since doing all of this, but you know, again, we'll see in due time. It's my channel, I can do what I want. The first night of the guild trial was going rather smoothly, though that again could be chalked up to the fact that the guild is way too strong for the regular monsters they've encountered so far in the Pivotal Jungle, and despite the fact that they're going back and forth just to simply fight these monsters. They really could have attacked us at any point earlier, but they decided to hold off for this long for this particular reason. During her night watch, Clysina certainly had ideas in mind on how to make this last part of the trip more interesting. As she was pondering on how to execute said ideas, though, Hisako sat next to the black-haired Landsect, surprising her a bit with the survivor's presence now known to her. Hisako noticed Clysina held a compendium in her hand, and noticed that her thumb was tucked between some of the book's pages, soon inquiring if the Landsect was reading through the compendium to pass the time a bit. Clysina nodded and brought up the page she was on in particular, giving Hisako a bit of a pause to find out that a page of the compendium was in the process of being written, more specifically, of the Wyvern. It turns out Clysina had been keeping an eye on the Wyvern since they've been on this tour, and had been working out some strategies on how to tackle it, but wasn't coming up with a solid plan for battling it, and just wasn't sure they were going to make it in time just to have one last hurrah to fight against it. Understandably, Hisako expressed her concerns, though Clysina is quick to reassure her that it'll all go well under the survivalist's guidance, having seen all that she was capable of doing so far throughout the labyrinth. Despite the worry still on her mind, Hisako understood that Clysina was really serious about finding the Wyvern, especially since sooner or later they would actually need to fight it at some point. So the two of them spent some time discussing strategy on how to approach the fight to come, hoping to find a sound plan to express to the remaining guild members before the trip was over. Before a long day arrived and the final day of being on the East Shore began. Outside the labyrinth, you realize another day has passed. The ordeal is nearly over. With all to see this through, you mark it on your tally sheet. 1 day remaining. We're almost done. Just another back and forth session. And it's the final day of post-commentary on the Corotrangul guild trip through the 8th floor in particular, otherwise known as simply going back and forth on this one part of the labyrinth in particular, for no particular reason other than to grind up on more experience and just getting overpowered for the next part of the Stratum. This is a thinly failed sort of progression, sort of grindish episode. I just now realized that everything's kind of unfortunate that it was like this, but it also didn't really help that in starting to do this quest in particular, I found out there was actually no indicator for the 4th day notification. So part of time was wasted on that, and I wasn't really sure if I was really up to doing all that I did again just to get back up to the point we are at now, but you know, we'll hear it. What's done is done. We're about to come up and prepare for the fight against the Wyvern at this point. It's all just said and done. I hope you enjoyed the artwork I've put my heart into. Again, shout out to Komaji for giving me some inspirations on how to tackle the Etrian Odyssey series, as I didn't want to just be like almost every other one. That's just all focus on the gameplay solely. That's my general assumption. I don't really actually know if that's the case. I'm so probably me and Komaji in particular, like one of the few rare instances of artists actually doing the job and just expressing their imaginations through artwork. But at this point, past recording me is going to be basically going over the Wyvern fight in particular, and yeah, that's pretty much about it. I don't know if this might be the only time post-commentary might be a thing, unless it might be a whole episode about just gathering materials for the compendium for ones that were missing before we tackle the game's post-game super boss that I mentioned some time ago. But yeah, no, this thing is about to wrap up, and honestly, it's been more prepared for this whole thing in general. But yeah, this has been post Pikmin the Great Pikmin CX-799's commentary, and we're now shifting back to the modern time that is the here and now. Back to you, pass me. Alright, remember when I said I was going to do something more, and like didn't even do so in like in the prior few episodes? For the time I said I was going to do it? Well, here we are. We're gonna face the Wyvern! Cause we freaking can. Gonna likely regret spaghetti, but away we go. I'm actually boost quickly, so it doesn't have to begin with. Boosted flame. Look at that damage. Very pathetic, very minimal. Very minimal damage. All that is to say, yeah, Defender Immunize is a really broken combination. So at this point, we just might as well just wail on it. Drop Defender again. And again, put up an Immunize. Yep. And fire with Tukui. Now it's a little better. It's a little less better since it's not a boost to demonize, but it's still better defense of wall because being defended not only by because Ivy's not only being protected by her own flank guard, but the defender is actually help mitigating some of that damage. Put up an opponent in the air. Just keep firing away. Oh, there we go. About time the Wyvern actually try to hit someone that wasn't Irene. Oh, now it's back to Irene. I thought you could have been Ryan, and I like that word. You could boost your attack. Actually, now I think about it, would this actually boost TP recovery? Ow. Another pollen. Should have been a boost. No, I stayed up for another boost. I stayed up for another defender when that's about to went out. Skyway, ouch, okay, that hurt. Phew. Oh yeah, it does actually recover most of the TP. Just at a better point. Alright, good to know. I accidentally hit the L button there when trying to adjust myself on my seat, so yeah, there's that. Okay. Boosted defender. Continue to boost the flame attacks, and go back to aim and eyes. Let's just put down up another. No, I can put down on the next turn. Just continue to do the usual. Ow. Oh, and now we do another trickery. Put up a salve. Haven't gotten the stun chance on it. Even that max, it's just a chance of whether or not it goes off. I think we're gonna go for the overkill boost opponent. Time to refresh on things. One last flame. Immunize. Should be going down this turn. Hopefully. That is the goal. Ow. Yeah! We don't get any experience because we're technically not supposed to. But we do get a material from it. The Wyvern. That is essentially what I've been somewhat stalling throughout this whole journey to be able to do. just so I can pull that off. That's to say, I was able to do it with the team that I had in mind. So that is very good. Let's just wait out the remaining bits of our time in the spring room. As a new day dawns, you note with satisfaction that the difficult ordeal is at an end. You have completed your 5 days survival training with flying colors. We are out of here. It's been 5 days already. Welcome back, kids. Way to hang in there. Everyone in town's talking about how Izal was able to complete that trial. Nice going. Yeah, technically, you're supposed to do this a lot earlier to get that piece of equipment for the medic. But since I did that, like, later, it's not really that helpful anymore. New weapon that is not there, but Wyvern mail. Need one more red beak and 5 more steel chip. Yeah, that is technically stuff we haven't. We're not supposed to get, but I think that stuff like on the next floor, or maybe on the next Stratum. I'll be honest, I don't even know. I suppose that's a bit of a bonus thing we could do to at least make a little more progress. We're gonna explore this part of the floor. Sandy Barrens. Now, there's plenty of doors around. But we also get the new style of music. AKA, it's the one band music that we've been hearing throughout the most specific event battles. Also, did I mention that these are all flame rats? They're flames, so yeah. Also, sand. Yep. Sand conveyor belts that push you forward. Or to the side, or just to whatever the path is specifically requires. To whatever path that goes forward, I guess. As you can see, plenty of it everywhere. At this point, it would take almost forever for me to map it out if I just continually stop to place down these map tiles. So I'm still going to be grabbing all my while we map this out, because the sooner I map this out, the sooner I will not forget it, because boy would one forgetting. Path leads that way, and the path leads over in this direction. Come on. Hello, golden ears. I tell you about decently strong enough to handle all of you at this point. I'm not really that afraid. No defenses, oh no. Okay, we already have the means of putting back out defenses, yeah. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore, I'm just humming to the song as best I can. And now these dudes are dead. He did first, apparently. Continuing through the lonely forest of flowing sands, you notice a fellow adventurer. The black-clad, flame-haired girl notices your presence and turns to you slowly. You, from Izal, you've come far. You wonder how the quiet, white-eyed girl with the small voice came to be here. You consider whether you should ask the psycho or leave it to own devices. Now we should definitely ask. You ask the Hexer Tlatchga what has brought her to these sandy vales. In answer, the girl's gaze sets to the flowing sands. I've waited here alone for you. I pass the time by listening to the sand. The friendly-haired girl fixes you with her powerful, unnerving stare. I'm worried for when she's bound too much to her past. It will crush her entirely. It will crush her someday. Someone must expose the truth to the labyrinth before that happens. The girl's hand emerges silently from her cloak, holding a small golden bell. This is the cursed bell of my kind. May it aid in your journey from here on. The timid girl hands you the bell without another word, then goes silently on her way. You tuck the bell into your pocket and watch the girl until she disappears. The Hex Bell. Alright, now we're here before Tlatchga. Just to see if there's anything different. Ask her? Nah. You match the silent gaze of the Hexer Tlatchga. Sensing your reluctance to speak, the girl's gaze sets to the flowing sands. Okay, so everything's just about the same, since you don't take the initiative. And with that, we've basically unlocked all the unlockable classes at this point in time. So really not all of these battles, but I'm gonna do it anyways. If we go over here, as you walk through the forest, a wall of trees blocks your progress. A man made hollows in the tree before you, waiting to receive something. You remember the stone tablet dropped by the mysterious shadow not long ago. Perhaps it would fit here. It's also fit from Waterhall storage. Yeah, we're basically blockaded from actually doing much, so figured we at least plug that at the very least. Here talk of a class that can control monsters using nothing but a bell and a few words. They're known as Hexers, and there aren't many of them to be found on this continent. I don't know where you got it, but with that cursed bell, you can register Hexers now. Go ahead, try it. A new class, the Hexer, cannot be created. We will be needing one of them for a quest, so for now, just go ahead and put in one of them. If you're willing to bring along Hexer at this point in the Let's Play, first of all, why would you? Second of all, you could absolutely bring your Hexer back up to speed with the Tree Frog experience exploit, or just any sort of thing that would help your Hexer gain experience to help catch up. How goes the investigation? We're still trying to translate the tablet you retrieved. Ah, you say the stone tablet may be necessary to proceed deeper into the labyrinth. Oh, one moment, please. I must confer with the chieftain on a matter this important. We meet again, members of Wyvern. About that stone tablet you obtained the other day. Our studies have revealed a few things that you may want to hear. The girl you met is of the forest folk, a race which evolved differently from humans. They consider the forest home sacred ground, and seek to eliminate any human intruders. The forest folk seem to have been behind the deaths of many adventurers within the forest. Given that continued exploration of the labyrinth is vital to Etria's livelihood, further classes with the forest folk are inevitable. That is why I will give you back this tablet, and ask a favor for you in return. I'd like you to accept the mission I'm issuing, effective immediately. The details will be provided later. I hope that you'll accept. That's the situation. I leave it to your judgment whether or not to accept. This is a strong wording for this method alone. Strong friggin' wording. The humanoid race of forest folk must be eradicated to allow further exploration of the labyrinth. If it's us or them, it's going to be us. You accept the mission then. Glad to hear it. Well then, let me give you the details. The chieftain has told you most of what you need to know. Your task is to infiltrate the 16th floor where the forest folk dwell and exterminate them. Honestly, were it up to me, I'd seek a peaceful resolution first, but the chieftain insists that they are a threat, and that my views are too permissive. The chieftain says that we must protect the exploration of the labyrinth, Etria's livelihood. In which case, I have no objections. The chieftain speaks, and the water follows. Members of Izon, I bid you good luck. Me don't like this mission. Me don't like it. But yeah, during our amplified, you can see how many resistances that it has, and that any point attacks are not very effective against it. I like how it says in the description, be prepared before challenging it. Be prepared. But yeah, we now have a mission. Granted, it's one that's probably going to rustle some feathers of the guild members as a whole, but still a mission we are accepting nonetheless. Yep. 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 Alright. Just gonna go in a one-way passage through here. Because believe it or not, that is not where I want to go. So I was hoping to find at least an item spot so we can gather materials from here. We're gonna need to have your HP up in the immediate future. Bring up Boom Nice to another level. This is a very long hallway. Just really one off. Okay. That brings us all the way over here. So I see a bee. Nothing but another path up here. Ah, there we go, there's the spot, but gonna need us a few FOEs on our way. Don't block everyone in front of me. Sickwood! It's the tree with hands. That's spooky. Totally spooky. Wave, flame, because fire. Fire, kill it badly, kill it, fire attacks, yum, fireballs. Am I showing that on picnic by accident? No, I'm basic. I thought I felt a little too easy at first. Also, preemptive attack, sucker. You left yourself wide open, buddy. And you're dead. You would flops. I know I can't carry any blinds, so I'm going to sell them. Steel chip. Hey, there we go. Colonian. Hard sword. Those are about the things we could acquire. Now I'm just going into my inventory's full, which is pretty soonest. Steel sword, cedar, royal wing. Bind resist. Already that's a lot better than the executor. So let's go ahead and grab those for our land protected protected. Yeah, I guess we'll just leave it at that for now. Next time, let's play Etrian Odyssey. We're gonna be taking some time and just handling a few side quests before proceeding further into the fourth stratum and seeing if we can't try to talk to the forest folk that we've seen in the hopes of, you know, trying to take things the peaceful way before we inevitably have to go down the route we have to go down anyways. See you guys then!